Hey, Skjarn, what do you have? Drop it. Drop it. Are these... Are these access codes? What's Daggerheart? I have no use for these. Maybe I can just give it to our neighboring campers? What? You had a quick question? Oh, you wanted me to tell you the story of Thalion again. I've told you this folklore many times before, but... Alright, if you insist. Many moons ago, frankly, before our moon, Bonnie, even existed, there were the original 6. There were the 3 original god families of our universe. The Feywims, a satyr family, the Zargolgs, an orcish family, and the Huabani, an elvish family. The fathers were all brothers. Each family had their own kids. The Feywim parents were Ekos and Zoe, and their children were Udar, Tefin, Sochos, and Phosphine. There was then Vir Zargolg, who was with Thorit Zargolg, and had Haljun, Avian, and Vanir. Finally, Ubaku and Krinelbis led the Huabanis with their kids Ubris, Vagon, and Rhodia. They worked together to create the world you and I live on today, Thalion. Now, during that time, it was a rugged landscape, brand new, untamed, and filled with possibility. However, the immense potential of it caused rifts between the original 6 parents. Intense verbal disputes broke out between them, shaking the core of the planet and cracking the continents themselves into the land they are today. The other family members took notice, and one day, Krinelbis took it upon herself to sneak away and kill one of the Feywim sons, Sochos, and framed it on Thorit Zargolg. This caused outrage within the families. Volcanoes erupted on each other's lands, new monsters were created irrationally and sent to destroy each other's nations. It wasn't until the children of the 3 families stepped in and dethroned their parents that peace was brought back to the world of Thalion. They saw purpose in what they were creating, saw love, life, birth, death, and infinite possibility from these new beings on this small world. They banished their parents to the underworld, where Haljun Zargolg guards the gates to prevent them from destroying more of our world and their continued creations. To honor their fallen friend, the children named their first continent after him, then spread to the rest to finish what their parents started. So grew Mizani. I know this is your favorite part. Mizani has always been an interesting place. Yes, people talk about the food, the buildings. No, you don't think that's the coolest part? Ah, yes. How can I forget the fact that it's a floating continent? Thank you, Skjarn. This allowed for dragons that were trying to find a new home to settle here. They would dig in the underbelly of the lands, ride the water channels down to the sea, and create vast tunnels through both masses. It's rumored immense fortunes or immense magics are stored deep within these tunnels, but whoever tries to find them ends up dead or missing. For a long time, dragons roamed a majority of the lands with people, until they attacked. Braynar was a growing, bustling little citadel when dragons came in waves. They almost completely burnt it to the ground until the group known as the Timeless Administration hunkered down, gained forces, and retaliated. They successfully drove the dragons out of the immediate city area long enough to begin building large walls around the city, with attached ballista and other weapons to protect them. During this time, many people fled to Braynar, either before the attacks, in search of something more, or during the attacks for survival. They fled to a city not too far from here, Skjarn. They fled to the northern landmass, Edirjord. Yes, where you're from. A small city began growing there, under the same name, as news of ethereal potential in the northern mountains hit researchers. Many from the capital of Edirjord and Braynar traveled north toward Osrin to get their hands on whatever resources they could find. Some took the harsh plains of northeastern Edirjord, which were unforgiving and still had dragons residing there. Others took to the waters, with, unfortunately, the only path being across the Cursed Loch. There isn't much known about this loch, but there's folklore for another day about a crew of a ship witnessing a miracle while traveling between the city of Newt and West Osrin. The city of Edirjord boomed when a study of magic emerged outside Osrin that involved taking materials found in the land and utilizing their magical potential to create things like potions or gadgets. The research facilities were built in the capital, and Osrin became a traveler's haven for those moving between the Edder Snow Mountain Range and the city. That brings us pretty much to today. I'm sorry, Skjarn. How could I forget the day I found you? Traveling alone down the Primord Mountain, I'd slid down a particularly icy patch of snow, I was stuck at the bottom of a cold basin in the mountains. I was sure I was done for, the cold setting in, my fingers and nose turning blue when I heard exactly that. Thankfully, this random creature came to my aid, stood me up, and allowed me to use them as a crutch out of the basin, all the way back to Osred. Well, I hope you enjoyed that tale again, but we have a long trek back to Edderjord starting tomorrow, so you better rest up. I've heard the research labs down there have increased in size and quality. I can't wait to show them all we've collected, Skarn. Here, you take a nap. I think I'm going to speak to our neighbors over here very quickly. Hi there. I couldn't help but notice you leaning in for our tale of Mizani. If you're interested, I have some gifts for fellow travelers. Sorry, they may have a bit of slobber on them from Skarn over there. If you start here, follow the steps, solve the clues, you may find yourself with a digital copy of a little game called Daggerheart. The first few of you to solve these puzzles will receive a special code that you can enter on Demiplane to gain access once this book is released. I do wish you luck and safe travels. Thank you so much to Demiplane for sending us these Daggerheart codes so that a lucky few of you can win access to the system when it's released on the Demiplane website. It's an awesome website with a bunch of different available game systems and beautiful character creators that have all the rules already roped into it. Good luck solving these puzzles, and we'll see you soon!